I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. Earlier today, hundreds of fans boarded buses bound for Levon Helm's studio in Woodstock. They had come from everywhere to pay respects to the legendary musician who died last Thursday following a long battle with cancer. Well-wishers lined up to enter his home and studio, where they viewed the closed casket surrounded by flowers, along with pictures of Helm and members of his band. Outside, fans shared personal remembrances of the four-time Grammy winner and member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fellow Ulster County resident Congressman Maurice Hinchey would add his own tribute on the House floor in Washington.
Mr. Chairman, I rise today to recognize the life and achievement of my dear friend Levon Helm, who passed away last week surrounded by close friends and family members. But beyond the music, we cannot forget Levon the man. I knew him well. He was a beacon of our Hudson Valley community. He was always willing to open his doors to help raise money for important local causes. He was a tremendous supporter of local agriculture. He worked to bring music into our schools and communities. He was a great person and a great friend.
Ulster County Executive Michael Hine ordered county flags to be flown at half-staff today in honor of Helm, a man Hine said made an inspiring contribution to his community. Levon Helm will be buried Friday at Woodstock Cemetery following a private service. Reporter Steve Israel will have more on today's event here at Record Online and in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record. A different sort of memorial service was held last evening in Washingtonville, with victims of crime were remembered during a tree dedication and vigil at St. Mary's Church in the village. Each year, the Orange County Coalition for Crime Victims' Rights sponsors a ceremony to remember the victims of crime and those who continue to deal with the loss of loved ones. Pat Bodner, whose husband was killed by an intruder inside their home in Blooming Grove in 1990, says the goal of the organization is to promote victims' rights and to make sure they're not forgotten.
Many times they are forgotten about, and I think most people feel, well, they must have been doing something wrong, that's why it happened to them, and they feel they're immune from being a victim of crime. I may have felt that way once upon a time, but crime does not discriminate.
But while strides have been made, Orange County District Attorney Frank Phillips says more should be done statewide to assist crime victims.
There are support systems available, but it's amazing how many of them are staffed by volunteers without funding. And certainly Orange County has done a lot, but I think throughout the state there's a lot more to do to help these folks try to get their lives back together. Not that they ever can. I don't really believe in closure. I believe, criminal prosecution may be part of the process, but if you've lost a loved one, I don't think there's ever closure.
Among those attending the Wednesday evening vigil, Carol and Wesley Chappelle of Gardner. They lost two sons. One was killed by a pair of robbers and the other at the hands of a drunk driver. Meantime, it is life in prison without the possibility of parole for the man convicted of gunning down a barber from the city of Newburgh during a botched robbery a year ago. In the city of Poughkeepsie, 39-year-old Marcus Woody, a married father of two, was shot and killed on Easter morning 2011. Today, the man convicted of first-degree murder, 25-year-old Chiron Brown of Schenectady, was sentenced in a Dutchess County courtroom. Woody's brother Alvin spoke at today's sentencing, and as Brown was let out of court, he told him to, quote, rot in hell. The family of the so-called Monroe Madam has created a website in its attempt to raise money for her $2 million bail. The efforts being made in behalf of Anna Gristina, the Monroe woman accused of operating a multi-million-dollar high-end Manhattan escort service. She's been behind bars since her arrest in February. Her legal team contends that she was running a legitimate dating service. The website claims Gristina has been subject to humiliating treatment at Rikers Island, charges corrections officials deny. Elsewhere, police in Kingston say he took aim at 3 school buses loaded with children, hitting the vehicles with rounds from a high-powered air rifle pellet gun last week. A tip from a concerned citizen led city police to Angel Pacheco, an 18-year-old from Cedar Street in Kingston, who's now facing charges of criminal mischief. None of the children were hurt during the April 18th incidents in the Clinton and Green Hill Avenue areas. Pellets penetrated the windows on 2 of the buses. Police also say Pacheco fired shots at a Kingston DPW vehicle. Pacheco was ordered held on a $1,000 bail pending a city court appearance next Monday. Police say more charges are pending. And college dad Joe Barbarito, clad in mock prison garb, says he's being held captive by the rising cost of a college education. Barbarito was among those protesting student debt, which on the national level hit the $1 trillion mark last month. Barbarito has a daughter in college and a recently graduated son who has only been able to land a part-time job. The National Day of Protest on college campuses came amid concerns that the interest rate on federal Stafford student loans could almost double as of July. The protest called on college students to boycott repayment of their student loans until the issue of skyrocketing costs are addressed. Unlike today, you may need a pair of sunglasses when you hit the road Friday. The forecast calls for a mostly sunny sky, but windy, with Friday temperatures up around 60 degrees. Clouds will be on the increase on Saturday during the day with the threat of a late day shower. The highs will be in the mid-50s. Stay connected to what's happening all day long right here at Record Online, and get on an edge on the day tomorrow by picking up a copy of the Times Herald Record. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Banks.